Bortle here, back from the YCS Remote Duel event over the weekend, which replaced the YCS Pasadena event that was canceled. So thankfully, Konami was able to run a follow-up event. And the cool thing is, it was finished the same weekend that it took place, although there's a prior Remote Duel YCS that's yet to be done. So we have here a special guest today. Please introduce yourself to the world, man.
Hi, my name's Landon Oliver, and I got top 32 with Tenyi Swordsoul.
And it's no surprise that this deck, this archetype right here, was one of the favorites to win the whole event. I mean, there's so many that enter the event. What made you decide to play this deck?
I decided to play this deck just because it's all around the most consistent deck. I feel like it has the best toolbox out of all the decks.
Alrighty, and there were four groups for this remote duel event. Which group were you in, man?
I was in Group 1.
Oh man, I heard group one took forever to get the truck rolling, right?
Yeah, it did. It was a little ridiculous. Like a 2 hour wait every round was kind of wild.
Oh, Jude. Yes, I heard the bots had major problems, but Konami was nice enough to just get the ball rolling, and thankfully they did complete 9 rounds of Swiss day one with the 2 rounds of Swiss afterwards. What was your toughest matchup during those 11 rounds, man?
My hardest matchup it's probably the mirror. Just because the mirror is like it really depends who opens up better because going first is scary because the tennies are so good at going second. I tried to like mitigate those problems in this list, but I ended up losing to the mirror in top 32.
So before we start this actual deck profile, would you like to do some shoutouts, man?
Yeah. So the first shout out I want to say goes out to Matt Rona. I learned a lot from him, and I feel like this really does go out to him. And the biggest shout out goes out to my dad. So I've been playing this game for like 7 years, ever since I was in elementary school. And so this is my first Premier Top, and I just want to say thank you for him and supporting everything I do. And then shout out to the foundation, Tristan Bridges and Darren Dial. And yeah, that's really all for me.
Hey man, well congrats. First of many to come. Take it away with the rest of the deck profile, bro.
All right, so to start off with my Sword Soul cards, I played three Ecclesia, three Moyi, Long, Tai, and the honorary Sword Soul Protos, three Emergence, and a Blackout. So I only chose one Blackout because with Pot of Desires, you just have to know like when to activate your Pot of Desires if this card's really good in that matchup. And, have to like save your pot until the very end in order to not banish this card. And it's also just not good going second, so that's why I only decided to play one. This is pretty standard. Protoss is crazy. Like I did so many cool plays with this card over the weekend. Like I made a Yazi and my opponent dropleted my Yazi, and then I summoned this and I called Dark, and then I popped my own Yazi, and then I summoned a Sword Soul for my deck, which was really cool.
Oh man, outplaying. Hey, real quick question about Protos. What do you think about those players that are running more than one copy?
I definitely think it's not wrong because, like I said with the Pot of Desires thing, but I'm also playing Circles, so it's like another way to like get to him. But yeah, this card definitely needs to go. Like he's crazy. No, I only played two tie, just because I didn't want to break on the normal summons. Yeah, those are all my Sword Soul cards. But for the tennies, I played three Ashina, three Vishuda, only two of the Earth, and then one of the Water. And then I played three Vessel and only two Circle. Circle really underperformed this weekend, but the Water Tenny was really good. Just to have the option for my deck, and it's really good into the mirror too when they search Blackout. You're outing the Shishout and the Blackout at the same time, which is really cool with this card. But yeah, this card I didn't really like. I had it, but I didn't get any effect failure or impermed whenever I had this card. So this card like really underperformed for me. But Vessel was very good. Like this card in any Tenny just becoming any synchros in your deck is really good. You can even like send a Sword Soul and then backseat it back. Did that a lot. So yeah, those are my Tennies. And then I played three Pot of Greed. This card's really cool in this deck too because you don't really like need any engine requirements in your deck, so you can activate this card multiple times a game. Like there was a couple games like I played this card like twice and I still was able to win, which is cool.
Damn, that is cool.
And then for hand traps, I played two Ash, Veiler, Droplet, and 3 Imperm. So I decided on 3 Imperm just because this card's just the best hand trap. Your opponent can't really interact with it with the Utopic Draco, and it could be your 6th card and still be good. Yeah, that's why I played this at 3. Decided on Droplet instead of Chalice because I was expecting a lot of Bird. And even though you have to send 4 or 5 cards, as long as you can still like play the game and not automatically lose, is what matters. I took and this card really hits Token Collector too. I did that a couple times, so I feel like it's important to main deck a card like this. And then I chose a 2/2 lineup because I feel like Ash in the Mirror isn't really like as impactful as it should be. So that's why, but I still feel like this card is like good enough to play. So that's why I played 2 of this and 2 Veiler. And the cool things about these cards is that you can actually use them for the synchro plays in the deck. You can like use this in a Vishuda for an 8. You can use this to go into a Baron. That was the main deck. It was 43 cards. And for the extra, my Swordsoul token, I played 2 Shishao, standard, Baron, 2 Baxia. Almost played 3 of this card. This is my favorite card in the extra deck because you can do so many cool plays with it. Like you can make a Chao Feng with it. You could bring back a Swordsoul. There was a couple times where like, I brought back any other Tenyi, and I made a monk, and then I used the Shidana. Whenever you pop the monk with the Baxia, you can actually use the water, bring back the monk, and then make a shaman in order to bring that back and use it again. Just cool. Yazi, I summoned this card a lot this weekend. This card was really good. And Chao Feng, Berserker, Chen Ying. I played Omega. I feel like you needed this in the doll matchup just to force out these schisms so then you can droplet or imperm them. I only played 1 doll, and he was already playing like the construct package, so the Omega really didn't do anything. And then I played 3 monk, shaman, and then the last card in my extra deck was a Lina. And I decided to play this because in the main deck it's pretty cool. Like you're playing Effect Veiler and you're playing Ashina, so you can actually summon this card game 1. But the point of it was for the side deck. I'll go ahead and explain it. There's 15 there, and then my side was 3 Nib. This was the main reason why I decided to play Lina. Nib isn't really good in this deck because it conflicts with the Tennies. But if you Nib your opponent and you go normal Moyi and they negate it, you can actually use the Nib and the Moyi into a Lina. And you summon their token into attack. You can go battle, crash the Lina into the token, and then you could search Ecclesia. Then you can summon Ecclesia in main phase 2 and keep going, which is really cool. I did that a couple times. There was a couple times where I took my opponent's Nib and I just killed them. Yeah, this card really overperformed. I played 3 Gamma, no driver. I decided this package over Droll, just because Droll is just like big one and it like doesn't really like stop them all the way. Like you still need like another hand trap on top of it. So that's why I decided to play this. Then my going first cards, I played Imperial Order, of course, and 2 Summon Limit. This card also overperformed. Every time I drew this card, I won the game, except in top 32. Game 2, I started, and I flipped this card on his Moyi. He doesn't have a token to activate Vishuda because he summoned Ecclesia first. Then he chained Red Reboot. So yeah, I just got what's good. Yeah, it was crazy. 3 Twin. I decided to play Twin over Cosmic because your hardest matchup is Shadal Invoked, and you don't want to just be like just hitting the Schism because they play Tikaboo and Punishment. So you kind of want to just hit both of the problems. And then I played a Harpy's Featherstorm and Red Reboot. Yeah, that was my deck.
Man, it sounds like you're well prepared for the other YCS that happened in the same weekend.
Yep, yep.
That's insane. So yeah, man, almost 2,000 players. You're able to make day 2 and make the top cut. That's pretty wild. And your first premier top as well. Any final thoughts, man?
Nope, just shout out for you for this deck profile, man, and more to come.
Yep, that's true. More to come. Well, thanks again for being on this channel, man, and hope to see you next time. And listeners, if you're not a part of Bortle Nation, sub for Bortle. It's that easy and it's free. Oh God, yes.
Oh
Bortle out.
God, yes.